Welcome to the Three Questions webcast series. I'm Wayne Baxter, Senior Executive Manager with One Capital Management. On this edition of the webcast, we're going to address the three questions you should ask before buying a home in the Conejo Valley. Thank you for taking time to check us out. And if you enjoy this episode of the Three Questions webcast series, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. When Capital Management, we develop and implement strategies that strive for our clients to grow, protect, and ultimately distribute their wealth. And we do that by offering investment wealth management services. Our process for advising our clients includes an in-depth discovery and diagnostic analysis of their wealth management goals and objectives. And needless to say, owning or purchasing real estate is at the top or near the top of the list of items that we discuss and analyze. One of the more popular areas for highly skilled Canadians and Americans to relocate to for employment purposes is the Conejo Valley. Now, if you're relocating to that part of the world, you will want to consider your cash flow and liquidity needs, your investing strategy, as well as your risk management, estate planning, tax planning strategies, and of course, home ownership. Now, on this edition of the Three Questions webcast, we'll discuss what you should be considering before purchasing a property in the Conejo Valley. On this edition of the webcast, we'll be asking the three questions you should ask before buying a home in the Conejo Valley. Joining us from the Conejo Valley in Southern California is Jeff Landau. Jeff is a real estate broker with Team 805. He specializes in helping people facing transition, whether they have inherited a home or are looking to downsize, or are supporting parents downsizing or moving to assisted living. Jeff, it's great to see you, my friend. Thank you for making
Always
time
great
to
to
join
see
us.
you, Wayne.
Usually we're seeing each other in a hockey rink somewhere,
Exactly.
or at a one of our regular provisor meeting social events. So it's great to see you, and thank you for making time to check us out. This is obviously long overdue. I guess really before we get to the questions, I think the first order of business for those who live outside Southern California is to let everyone, those folks, I guess at least, to know where the Conejo Valley is located. So I'm going to turn that over to you, although, as you know, I know very well where the Conejo Valley is located since I actually live there.
Yes, you do.
Thanks to somebody who may be joining me on the webcast. God bless you, Jeff.
Oh, that could be me. So the Conejo Valley is just north of the San Fernando Valley. It starts at Agoura Hills and Oak Park, and then continues to Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, and Newbury Park.
And okay, that's geographically accurate. I would say, though, I'm gonna have some fun with you this, and I think we're good enough friends that I can. So you say that it's north of the San Fernando Valley. I would argue that it's west, but I know we're talking semantics here.
Exactly, because the 101 north, if that goes north and south, then it's north, and I would agree with you that there are definitely parts of the 101 that goes east and west.
Yeah, a few miles of it anyway.
Right.
But you are correct. We would take the 101 north from Woodland Hills through to the Conejo Valley.
Yes, sir.
And appreciate that little overview. Okay, you know what? Let's get to our questions. Let's leave this. Let's no more suspense for our listening and watching audience here. So we're going to basically ask the three questions you should ask before buying a home in the Conejo Valley, and I'm going to let you again tackle question number one. Why live in the Conejo Valley versus, say, the San Fernando Valley or Los Angeles?
Happy to answer those questions, Wayne. So I think I would be remiss if the first answer wasn't safety. I think a lot of people see that even though Simi Valley is not in the Conejo Valley, Simi Valley and Thousand Oaks typically rank in the top 5 cities nationwide with a population of 100,000 or more for the lowest crime rate. So Thousand Oaks has been consistently in the top 5, and sometimes even top 3. So definitely has a reputation for being a safe area. Our area is definitely less dense than the San Fernando Valley and the West Side. Less dense from a housing standpoint, less dense from when you go shopping, a lot easier to find parking, less dense from a traffic standpoint. So those are definitely attributes that a lot of people enjoy. There are a lot of activities, outside activities that people can enjoy. There's amazing hiking, there's amazing mountain biking and road biking. If
Good.
I didn't live here, I would definitely drive here to do some of the mountain biking that is in this area.
Well, we did a bit of road cycling in our well, I guess I'd say not previous existence, but yeah, we put a few miles on the old bike, yeah, for sure. And
We
I guess
have,
we should
and
also mention the fact that it's about 12 miles as a crow flies from some of the most spectacular beaches you're going to find as well down to Malibu.
it is, and that's probably one of my favorite rides is anything from PCH and taking a canyon back to Westlake Village. We have about 5 or 6 canyons that are a lot of fun to climb. If somebody thinks that climbing a canyon is fun, I happen to love it.
Well, I must admit my bike riding days have been a little bit behind me, although I lament that tremendously. And one of these days I think it's that cloud's gonna lift. But yeah, I would agree with you. Going up Encino Canyon Road from Malibu up and actually it connects basically it's the 23 highway is some of the most spectacular bike rides you could ever imagine, and
Agree.
definitely good for the old cardio, that's for sure. And
Agree.
a great thing about down here is that you can do that ride not just from say May to September, but 12 months of the year.
12 months out of the year, and you probably don't even have to get into a car. Just leave
I
leave
never
your
did.
house, hop on the bike, and away you
100%.
go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm pitching myself this idea anyway. I'm hearing myself. All right, so yes, I would agree. You're obviously preaching to the choir on this one. So second question. Now this is an important one. So question number 2 that a home buyer should ask before purchasing a home in the Conejo Valley region of California. Question number 2: I keep hearing how difficult it is to purchase property and casualty insurance in California. Is the Conejo Valley any different? My friend
It
Jeff, over to you.
it is not any different. It is challenging. It is so it used to be when somebody was buying a home, within a couple of days of closing escrow, we're an escrow state. When somebody was close to closing escrow, even the last week, the last 4 days, 3 days until closing, we could say, oh, why don't you call your insurance agent, make sure that you have a policy in place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I start that process with my clients that are selling homes before the home goes on the market.
100%.
Yeah, I'll call one of my trusted insurance agents and ask them if there are any issues. There are typically always insurance plans. Kind of the insurer of last resort is called the California Fair Plan, and we've been having more policies that need to go to California Fair Plan because no other companies are writing. We've had a couple of companies that have left California. We have a couple of companies that have moratoriums on writing new policies. So the Conejo Valley is not any different from other areas. It depends upon where the house, condominium, or townhome is located. Is it close to brush? And it's a very dynamic market. And you can't say, well, last week this is what happened, because something could have changed.
Yeah, actually, on one of our previous webcasts that we did, we actually had Diane Beatty from Cal Insurance on, and that was one of the things we addressed. It was webcast was tailored for Canadians looking to buy property here in the U.S. And one of the first things we just discussed was the importance of checking to make sure that the property you're going to purchase is actually insurable. This isn't just for California, but across the entire country. To make sure that this property that you're so excited about buying, that you can actually get coverage for before you actually commit to it. So
absolutely. In fact, the California Association of Realtors, this is not specific to the Conejo Valley, it's specific to California. The Conejo Valley, the California Association of Realtors just came out with another disclosure. So now we have one more page to add to all of the advisories.
to the list.
It
to
certainly is.
stack.
Fortunately, we can do that electronically, so we're not killing as many trees. There's a new fire insurance advisory, to your point.
Yeah. Sometimes there are more rude awakenings and spiritual awakenings in this world. Okay, so well done on question number 2, Jeff.
Thank
So
you.
question number 3, and this is again for if you're looking to buy a home in the Conejo Valley region of Southern California. Question number 3, what are the price ranges for homes in the Conejo Valley? Yes, that's something that people need to be aware of as well. And again, this ties well back into wealth management, because before you commit to buying a property, you want to make sure you're doing your capital forecasting and wealth management analysis to make sure that this will all work. Jeff, take it away.
Absolutely. So the least expensive homes are not houses, homes are in the mid 300,000s. And what you get for that is about 4, 5, 600 square feet, typically a one bedroom. So that's where a condominium starts. I'm not saying that there's a lot of them, but they are available in that price range. You get up to about, you go to about 1,000 square feet still for a condominium at $500,000 price range, roughly. The lowest single family homes start in the mid $600,000 price range. And you start getting more options, more choices once you get into the $700,000 price range. As of this moment, there are 177 homes available. So again, not houses, condominium, townhome, and single family homes available in the Conejo Valley. About half of them are under $1 million. So in about 93, 94 homes are under $1 million, and the rest are over. The more popular price range when you go over, it's probably not shocking to say it's between one and 2 million. And then, we have some very expensive homes that when you get in Lake Sherwood, sometimes in North Ranch and Westlake Village, but we can have 10 and 12, $15 million homes. Those are very rare. More popular in the $1 million to $2 million range.
Okay, I gotta circle back on question number 2. Just this is the benefit of having my own webcast, is
You're allowed to do that. You're the host.
I can do that. Damn right. All right. Okay. So, are the condos and maybe even the townhomes, but the condos in particular, easier to get insurance for? Is that like an obvious question? I mean, or are the condo owners dealing with the same issues that people who own, their own property?
Could be a little bit easier, though not immune from the issues that we're having with insurance. I have a townhouse in Thousand Oaks that just got under contract yesterday, and we're still working on the insurance. Now, I started that work before we had an offer, so we're still working on it. And there are plenty of condos, plenty of townhomes that aren't near brush and that aren't near any risky areas that are a lot easier to get insurance for.
All right. So it's maybe possibly slightly more or less challenging.
Definitely
But
less challenging.
all right. All right. Well, I just thought I would throw that one there. Okay. Before we wrap up and send you on your way, we had a recent webcast here with our Deputy Chief Investment Officer, Steve Cowley, and there is some optimism, I guess we'll call it optimism, that the Federal Reserve may actually start reducing short-term interest rates this year. Now, I understand, and my mortgage friends and my real estate friends like yourself will remind me that mortgage rates don't go lockstep with interest rates, but because they tend to be longer term, and the Fed's like super short term. There's still an expectation that we could see mortgage rates starting to come down as well. Hopefully, everybody is like this, right? With that said, what are your thoughts, with the direction of real estate here in California, maybe Southern California? What is your thoughts? Because the thing that we kept hearing over the last couple of years is that not a lot of inventory. A lot of the those folks who locked into their 30-year 3.25% mortgage. They're not selling. And because we have interest rates up in the 7% range, you got buyers that aren't buying. So looking into that crystal ball that you have there, Jeff, what are your thoughts?
One of the cues that I take is from the economists from the California Association of Realtors, since they're studying this, for their, I was going to say 24/7. They probably do sleep, but they study this full time. So instead of for me trying to forecast, I take the cues from them. The expectation this year for the state is for the number of homes available for sale, or the number of homes that will sell. They're anticipating that going up. We have been at a low, and I feel like a broken record. I hear you say low inventory. I've been saying low inventory for a very long time. That's not anticipated to change a lot. Interest rates, I heard from a lot of people in the lending industry at the end of last year, oh, rates will be in the fives, which is why I don't say, well, people are saying that, so I'm going to say that. I never said anything. Rates never got in the fives. Right now, they're in the upper sixes, which, if we get a little bit of perspective, we've had incredibly low interest rates these last 10 years.
No kidding.
Yes. Right. And you can speak much better than that than I can. And interest rates are definitely, as you mentioned, keeping homes off the market. I feel like it could almost be one of the lines at a bar now when you end up meeting somebody. Hey, hi Wayne, how are you? By the way, what's your interest rate? Well, my rate's at 2.75, and I had it at 3.5 on my lender, and there's like a whole story behind it. So a lot of people are really focused on their rate, and that's keeping a more traditional move-up market not happening as much. So when we have real estate is always going to be driven by life events. We have birth,
Yes.
death, divorce,
The cathartic, exactly.
retirement.
The cathartic events. You just named them all. The ones the same when you're looking at reevaluating your financial plan. Birth, death, hired, fired, married, divorce, relocation, 100%.
Same things. So, those are always happening. Those are still happening. And I'm not thinking that the move-up market is going to tremendously improve, where we're going to get a lot of inventory coming on the market. It doesn't feel like it. I'm not seeing it in any of the forecasts or reports that I'm reading. Every so often people say, can you help find a foreclosure for me? And I say, try to find one. There's just so much equity. Not everybody has it, but a lot of people have equity that if they run into a problem, they can sell their home for a profit, and they don't need to get foreclosed on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see that kind of market happening this year either.
All right. So I remember last time we had I think it was a lunch. Can't remember if it was lunch or dinner. And we were kicking this around, and with regards to real estate, and one of the theories that we were pondering was the lower amount of interest rates, with low interest rates coming down, would make it easier, more compelling for sellers to sell and buyers to buy, and the effect of that, the side effect of that, would make we would see a rise in property values in direct correlation to that. So I'm again throwing you under the bus, my good friend Jeff. Do we subscribe to that theory, or or are there too many other factors?
Well, one of the factors, if we have, and so part of the question is, how much do rates go down? Will we see a dramatic increase in the number of homes available for sale? It doesn't seem like it would get dramatic. I'm not seeing anybody talking about rates going into the fours. So
No,
some people,
down at this end, I think the consensus is that and again, we're not predicting here or anything, or merely surmising, but
Sure.
In the fives would be probably potentially where we end up at. But again, we
Interesting thing
don't
about,
know for
I'm sorry.
sure, obviously, because we don't know what's going to happen. What would happen here? The Federal Reserve says, when inflation hasn't been tamed enough, we're not going to cut rates. Oop, right? That's also a possibility. We could be sitting
Right.
here a year from now, like an echo chamber, right? Rates are exactly where they were. We don't know that. We can't predict that.
Yeah, and even if the Fed says that they aren't going to lower, conceivably rates could come down a little bit because the bond market has confidence that we're not going to have rampant in inflation. Though rates aren't going to bottom, rates may go down on a quarter point, half a point. That's not really a needle mover. And I had clients buying homes in the sevens, and and even when it hit 8. And if I could say something personal, the first 30-year mortgage that I got was in 2000. It was at 8%, and I was ecstatic because the rule of thumb used to be if you can get a rate under 10, lock it in. I locked it in, and like everybody else, I'm probably on my 5th mortgage, and that house is at 3.75. Talking about people that know their interest rates.
There you go. All right. Well, Jeff, you know what? You and I could just chat forever and ever. So I'm sure that won't be considered very entertaining for our listeners. So I've included, for those watching, they see your contact information underneath you on the screen. For someone who's either listening or they're looking for your assistance, what is the best way for them to reach you? What would you recommend?
Sure. Phone number is 805-341-0398. And my email is jeff@team805.com.
Perfect. Jeff, thanks a lot for joining me. Jeff Landau is a Conejo Valley, California-based real estate agent with Team 805 Real Estate. Jeff, thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you real soon.
I appreciate the invite, Wayne. Thanks so much.
I look forward to bringing you the 3 Questions webcast, and I hope you find them educational and informative. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. And to receive notification when our latest webcast has been posted, please click on the notifications bell. Lastly, to schedule an online Zoom consultation with me to discuss your wealth management needs, please click on the link in the description box below, www.onecapital.com/meet with Wayne. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.